Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the first edition of Ladies Night on the Platform Sports Talk Show. This is your girl, Bunny, and I have three wonderful women that is ready to give you all and everything of sports and then some. Without further ado, let's get this ladies panel started. I have Miss Annie, I have Miss DeJanel Purple Rain, and I have Jo Bovaconti. Welcome, ladies.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, what's happening?
I love this energy, ladies. Yes, yes, yes. First time I've done the show with no fellas here, so we gonna keep it lady style, high filing and profiling. And for people that do not know, Annie, three-time Super Slam champion in football, correct? At Miss Purple Rain, big Zumba fitness, and I just saw the body video she did, baby. Watch out, Megan Thee Stallion. I'm not ready for it, honey. And Miss Jo knows she is gonna be dropping it like it's hot any day now with Baby Joe.
Yep. Ready to get her out.
I understand. So I'll go with you first, Miss Annie. Can you give me quick 5 facts about you, honey? Let the people know who you are and what you're all about.
Oh, wow. 5 facts. I was not ready for that. So,
Okay, 3.
Grier, I'm Annie Grier, currently in Tallahassee, Florida. I lived in St. Louis for 6 years. For 4 of those years, I was with the St. Louis Slam, the women's professional tackle football team there, and won 3 national championships in 4 years. Should be 4 for 4, but we took a year off, gave the rest of the league a chance to win some rings, and then we took the other 3.
All right, all right, all right. Great, great. And next we have Miss DeJanel Purple Rain Freeman. Give me 5 fun facts, honey.
Oh wow, 5 facts. I'm a dancer choreographer. I do trap Zumba, trap yoga. I work a lot with the youth, doing different projects and in various avenues. I am a mother of 3. I have 3 daughters. And I grew up playing sports. I love sports. Yeah, that's a little bit.
All right, Purple Rain. You didn't throw it at you were the Kobe's biggest fan, number 1 Lakers
Oh
fan.
yeah, that part. That part. That part.
Gotcha. And last but
I
not
need a sign that says Annie has walked away from the camera whenever people put some nonsense. So instead of a professional picture coming,
oh wow.
I need one of me like making this face like. So when I stop video, that's what comes up.
Oh wow. Okay. This is gonna get interesting. Before we go there, Miss Jo knows. Give me 5 fun facts, honey.
Well, like you've already said, I'm pregnant with our first child, Mia. She's due January 4th, but hopefully she's here a lot sooner because I don't know how much more I can handle of this.
Capricorn baby.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know. Me and my husband have been married for 6 years. I played softball and soccer in high school and a little bit of college, but sports, have been not there since then. I've done a little bit of like co-ed softball and whatnot. And then I just have a big love for baseball and hockey. And as Bunny knows and other people, Fred makes sure to tell everyone in every show, I'm a Cardinals fan, but I love the Houston Astros as well. So that's my team.
You have to put in front of that. I love the cheating Houston Astros. Remember, you got to throw that in there. Just saying.
No,
for people that didn't know.
Not doing it.
All right, ladies, thank you so much. I love those quick 5 fun facts. And I just got breaking news, but I'm going to let the guest, Miss Annie, give us the official breaking news of what just happened in the NBA.
All right. So according to Woj Bomb, the Rockets have agreed to trade Russell Westbrook to the Wizards for John Wall and a first-round pick.
Interesting.
That's what I'm like, see, I'm glad Westbrook left the Rockets. I know they did that the last minute to get CP out of there because him and Harden were getting along, but I know Westbrook didn't fit with Harden personally. They're just two alpha males, too dominant. They weren't gonna get far like they should have. But John Wall and Harden, and that's if Harden stays because he still may leave. We don't know, but quite interesting, I must say. I didn't see that one coming. Anybody see that coming?
Definitely did not see that coming. Blindsided.
As someone that I kind of follow a lot of Houston sports just because of the Astros, and I could say a lot of Houston fans have been upset with just the Texans and the Rockets. So I'm ready to see what my Twitter feed's going to be looking like here tonight. And then if Harden leaves, who knows?
Well, keep us posted what those Houston fans are saying.
All right.
Because if you're saying Astros, Texans, and the Rockets have a big fan base, right? All of them have their own following. So Astros just won the World Championship. Put an asterisk next to that. The Texans can't get it together. They get good draft picks. And then the Rockets, they went to the conference finals, I believe, 2 years? When did they go to the conference final? Was that 2018? And then they lost to the Warriors? Am I mixing it up?
I think so. I think
okay. So I have no sympathy for the Houston community. I love Houston as a city, but again, with the Astros being cheaters. And then as far as Harden and the Rockets, I don't have to think it's Harden, but I think he's a cheater too, especially with all the flopping. And after that, the travel he gets away with. I guess I'm an anti-Harden fan, but I try not to be, but it's so obvious. But
I love the beard. I'm a fan of the beard.
Oh, okay. Well, the beard.
Me too.
Cheating
the beard is definitely.
Then I can get with the beard.
The beard is definitely a plus.
Yeah.
No, wait. Is it a plus for the look? Y'all like people with beards?
Love a beard. Love a beard.
That's too much.
Okay.
If I can hide trinkets in it and stuff, that's too much. I don't even know what it looks like without it. I know what he looks like from older OKC stuff without it, but no.
My husband's got the beard, and it's whenever he shaves it all off, it's completely different. So I'm a beard person, and for sports, sometimes it's a bit intimidating. So.
Okay, so think about this. The sports world stopped in mid-March, and you noticed, or if you saw it on social media, a lot of those athletes, the guys particularly, were growing out their beards. So y'all are all for the beard and the salt and pepper. Some of them had the gray that look, yay, nay. It depends.
I like it. I like a scruffy man.
No, it still needs to look well pimped. Just having it there doesn't. Thing. You still gotta, edge it up.
Yeah, it definitely has to be groomed. I mean, you can't just be wild bird out here like that's unattractive.
Well, now they all got this beard oil and stuff, and you can pick at it and everything. They got all this.
Exactly. So that's the bird we like.
Yeah.
Right. We've come too far for it to look like nonsense, even in a pandemic. But I'm surprised about the Westbrook trade just because I feel like all of the talk around the Wizards was around moving Bradley Beal.
True.
So I wonder what that does to him now. Are those rumors off? I mean, the Wizards never confirmed those rumors and always said that they were going to continue to build around him and Paul, but now Wall is gone. So is that still the plan? Is he a good fit with Westbrook? Are they looking to make more moves? I mean, now would be the time to do it in the East because I feel like the East I feel like the teams are closer together than they are in the West. And with a shortened season, this is probably like if there's any time where there can be a fluke or just a miracle run, this would be the season to do it. So I'm interested to see who they partner with Westbrook. And in the comments, someone said that nobody wants to play with Westbrook. I don't.
If you're another guard, I can see it.
With Westbrook. I mean, you had said that they didn't want to play with Westbrook other than Harden.
But I can see that.
He didn't like playing with Westbrook, or he just didn't think that OKC could win with Westbrook as your number two.
honestly, OKC, remember the farthest they got when they had Westbrook, KD, who else was on that squad? That's when they went and they were up against the Warriors, but the Warriors came back. This was in 2016,
It was in 16, right?
I want to say 2016. So they almost had it, but of course, almost doesn't count. I believe Westbrook is good, but he's so dominant. Even though he's a point guard, he functions like Harden, point slash shooting guard. Ball has to be in his hand. Offense does not work without it going through his hands. And Westbrook, for people not want to play with him, I can only see guards because of his over dominant. Like, I'm a big CP3 fan, and I know some people don't like him, but it's not because of I'm have to have the ball, I'm dominant. It's because he holds people accountable. And that's why they don't like when CP3 get up in your butt. He don't care if you were a Kobe Bryant type person to a Giannis to the six man. He'd get up at anybody's, but he holds people accountable. Westbrook doesn't function like that, but people get tired sometimes of him being so dominant the ball. And it's just my way, no way. You got to have that on your team, no matter what sport you do have to have a leader. And we know in football, quarterback, baseball, and hockey, they have team captains for a reason. But at the same time, if you're a captain or you not get along with them and you're another star, that is going to cause problems. And people may not want to play with you. I mean, also, depending how a coach draws up plays, if you're going to do it all through Westbrook and somebody else or just through Westbrook, that's going to cause conflict too. I'm surprised.
Hear Westbrook tell it, the reason why he wanted out of Houston was because he said that the team had no accountability. And that was the thing in OKC too. Like, people said that he did hold people accountable in the same way that people think about like CP3 or Jimmy Butler. But that probably worked on those OKC teams where he was not only the most tenured player there, probably the best player there. I mean, he averaged a triple-double for 2 straight years, and I don't think people talk about that enough. Accomplishment, so he was, their best player there. But, in Houston, the team revolves around Harden, whether it's the play on the court or whether it's off the court. And so you can't feel like you're holding people accountable when you're not the leader, and the leader himself doesn't want to be held accountable. So I think he kind of has that general mentality too. Now, I just haven't heard that, people didn't want to play with him for that reason, but yeah. And as far as him being ball dominant, I mean, Bradley Beal isn't. He's good off the ball. So he's a good, second player, complementary piece. So I don't think that they'll have that issue. I wonder if they'll go back to, a style of play where it's mostly, Westbrook on fast breaks, like he did in OKC for his last 2 years there. But I just don't know that they have the rest of the team in Washington to do that and be competitive. And I don't know if what's left in Houston. Well, no, that's not true. I do know that what's left in Houston is not going to be competitive in the West.
Yeah. The West, we know the West is beyond dominant. Still, I thought the East would have caught up what they're trying, but they still got some ways to go. Because I know we had the discussion on our show a few weeks ago. You just take the top 4 teams out of Western Conference, and they don't even equate to the top 8 teams. Like, the East has so much to catch up with. I don't know. I won't say it's watered down, but maybe the talent is spread out on more teams, but it's more talented people on the West Coast or Western Conference. I just thought by now they would have caught up, but I mean, we know KD's on the Eastern Conference now with the Nets. We know Kyrie's there. Giannis right now still in Milwaukee, Eastern Conference. Toronto still is good without Kawhi, but it just seemed like the better matchups still come out of the teams out the Western Conference. And actually, I feel that way about football too, because if y'all see, not flipping the script, but the AFC and a lot of teams in the Western teams are overall kind of better than some of the teams in the East.
I have always thought that, like, even growing up, I was like, the best players and stuff in each genre of sports comes out of the West for some odd reason. Why do you think that is?
The weather's better?
I don't feel like that's always been true. Whenever we talk about, but But I feel like whenever we talk about previous eras of basketball, it's the Bulls, it's the Celtics, it's the Knicks, it's the Pistons, and those are all Eastern Conference teams. So other than the Lakers, I mean, I would feel like there wasn't a lot around.
But the Lakers, I mean, they're like 6 teams.
What? How can that be 6 teams?
I mean, just the amount of talent that has come from there. Like,
okay, I don't want to get into started, but
Real quick,
everybody's in this team with the big threes on NBA teams. So if you took away LeBron going to LA, will we still be talking about the Lakers relevant? Think about it. They were talked about, but they didn't go to the playoffs for over 8 years. They were trash. So Golden State picked it up. That's a Western Conference team, but Golden State picked it up for them, though.
and I do have some liking for the Warriors as well. I'm biased against the Lakers, so anytime there's a Laker conversation, I have to go Lakers up.
Well, I'm not a big NBA fan, but I do agree. Like, we probably wouldn't hear much about the Lakers if LeBron wasn't there. Before we continue with this, guys, Stanton said hi, ladies. Hello, ladies on YouTube. So, hey, Stanton.
Stanton, what's going on?
And then we also got the host of the regular show, Platform Sports Talk show. Fred mentioned, Gianna said yesterday, Bron is the best player in the game. Do you guys all agree? Talk it up.
So yes, I agree. He's the best player in the game still. But to your point about the Lakers, I think if Bron hadn't gone to the Lakers at all, then I think Kawhi and PG would have been more likely to choose the Lakers instead of the Clippers. So I still think that when Magic was GM, he would have gotten some big name people to go there, and the Lakers would still be good if they just wouldn't have had LeBron. So
LeBron decided
Kawhi
to go to the Lakers. You thought PG and Kawhi would have been with the Lakers?
Yeah. So Kawhi wanted to play in LA, but he didn't want to go and be second fiddle to LeBron, which is why he went to the Clippers instead of the Lakers. So I think if LeBron hadn't gone to the Lakers, then Kawhi would have gone to the Lakers. And then PG wanted to play with Kawhi, so he also would have gone there. But I still think the Lakers would be relevant now. I just think that they would have different people. But yes, to answer the question that was posed, of course, LeBron is the best player in the game. He's the best player in the game until he retires.
So, Joe, you say you don't follow basketball as much, but you know how LeBron is. And, of course, people always talk about LeBron versus MJ. I know Annie.
Yeah, last time Annie was on the show, you guys were going back and forth for quite a bit of time.
I'm not even going to go there right now.
Yeah, don't do this to yourself, Bunny. You know the last time you talked about LeBron, he cut off your internet.
It sure did, y'all. Internet, it did. I'm like, dang, right when we was in the middle of it. So I wasn't going to go there just yet. Let's wait to the end. So if it want to cut off on me, we'll have most of the show done.
I'll say just from like what I know, which again isn't a super lot about NBA, is like Jordan's always going to be top of that list. But obviously I know I'm not stupid. LeBron's, top of the world right now. That's just how it's been for at least as long as I've been alive, like that's just LeBron's it. He's cream of the crop. But there is other people I hear about all the time as well. Sounds like they're making a name for themselves. But yeah, right now it's LeBron. You can't argue with that.
Okay, so since another superstar gave him props and they both playing in the game, I commend him for that, because I know years ago you wouldn't have people giving comments and commending somebody like, oh yeah, he's better than me. Like the older athletes would not do that. Maybe they thought that, but they wouldn't say that publicly. That's your competition.
I think people nowadays are they're a little more that they come out and actually say that stuff nowadays, like back in the day you want to hear it. You want to hear like, MJ say that someone's better than him, but it's in all sports, honestly. Players kind of just respect each other more nowadays, I feel like. And that's in all sports.
I guess. I mean, it's nothing wrong with it.
I agree.
In the competition, and it's a different era, different people. I get it.
Yeah. I mean, you hear it all the time. Everyone, like, Everyone agrees. They talk about Trout all the time in baseball, and in hockey, you're always going to hear the same names of Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby and Patrick Kane and Connor McDavid. And basketball, you're always going to hear about LeBron. Football, even though he's been trash, I feel like lately, you're always going to hear about Brady. You know, like people are going to sit there and respect others in the game, and that's just.
If you paid your dues, yeah. So I'm not the anti-Brady and I pro-Brady, but you have a lot of rings and you were the captain of your team, so I get that. But some of the people, I don't think they should be giving their points yet. Wait till you've done some accomplishments. Like the Dodgers, baseball. So LA, we got the LA Lakers now. Dodgers won their World Series, so we got two big LA teams, big following, got World Series champs. The Dodgers ain't run a ring since what, 88, right?
Yeah.
Then they went to the playoffs a lot of times, and they would, the Cardinals even beating them. Kershaw was nothing to us. He was like whatever to him. But the fact that LA Dodgers, they're I guess one ring in after almost 30 years. Can they start talking trash now? I mean, they've been going to the playoffs the last few years, but isn't the ultimate goal to get the World Series title? So should they be talking trash now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Until a new champion is crowned, you can talk all the trash you want for the next 365. Talk all the trash.
So in baseball, does it matter if you all do a dynasty or at least, how the Giants won with 3 World Series in 6 years? Just 5 years ago, they won the World Series in 1. It's almost like you can't tell because they're so trashy right now. But if you have a dynasty or go to the playoffs consistently, you can talk trash. But if you've gotten playoffs one time and haven't been there prior to then like 10 years, can you still talk trash? Like, I'm just trying to figure out how does this work?
Yes.
For an example, the Yankees, I feel like they can't talk anymore because they haven't won anything since 2009, I think. So they're still like known as the big bad empire, blah, blah, but I don't think they can talk anymore. Dodgers, they can talk, like they won one finally, and they're always in the playoffs, but it was a weird year. Let's see if they can do it in a full year. But yeah, I don't know. Dodgers, they're going to be good regardless. That's all I can say about the Dodgers. They got the money, they got the talent.
Okay.
I think whoever the current champion is can talk trash all they want to until a new champion is crowned. And as a Cowboys fan, I'm going to still talk stuff about the Cowboys being America's team, even though we haven't won nothing in 25 years. And we can win nothing for the next 25. And I will still talk about the Cowboys being America's team because you can't take that from us. I don't care.
We can, Annie. We can.
No.
Yes.
You really can't. Who
labeled them America's team? The media back in the 90s when Emmitt Smith.
The fans, the people who count the money. We are the wealthiest franchise in all of sports.
So that makes you all America's team. I mean, when I heard that years ago, when I started watching football,
America, we always have the highest rated games. America buys our stuff. America watches our games. And America roots for us and continues to vote us their favorite team.
I don't want to say this publicly. I guess I'm anti-America because I don't do any of that.
So
I know the Cowboys suck. Right now. I know the St. Louis native, Zeke Elliott, St. Louis, give him props. Thank you. And at the same time, it's like, but you're on that team. And we know how Jerry Jones tried to be a GM, a manager, defensive coordinator, the cheerleader, the guy driving the car on the field. He does everything except be an owner. Like, what are we doing here? And they always think they're relevant because they talk about so much, even though they've been trashy so long. I just, it's mind-boggling. I'm like, how do people still call this America's team? Because I don't see it.
So, hey, something, I want to read one of these comments that just spoke to me real quick. So, Sadell, I'm reading the comments on the chat. Sadell, the selects athletes are too nice nowadays. They don't have that Mamba mentality. I just wanted to read that because, it speaks to my Kobe, our connection that we have. Salute.
I lose you, did I? No.
No, I'm here.
Part of what you
Okay.
said.
I did your picture change or something. Okay. Oh, that quote spoke to you because of the mama mentality.
Well, of course. Of course, of course. I just wanted to share that with the people because that's really the mind frame that you have to be an athlete, a successful one. You know what I mean? You got to have some type of driving force. And that just sums everything up. The mama mentality, it sums everything up. For me, it does. I don't know how y'all feel about that.
Okay.
No. I mean, I'm gonna give Kobe his respect. R.I.P. Hard to believe that was almost a year ago.
I know, seriously, yeah.
Seems like it was forever ago.
I know, right?
Time.
Right.
But no. So one thing about Jordan is his career was too short to play with people who would have grown up modeling their game after him. Whereas with LeBron being in the league almost 2 decades, he's playing with like Steph Curry posted this the other day. Like 2 of his teammates now went to his camp. So that's part of the reason why there's different levels of respect, different relationships, is that players are staying in the league longer. And so people who actually grew up admiring them are now playing with them. Whereas once Jordan realized that he couldn't win a championship, he quit. So his career wasn't long enough to play with people who actually modeled their game after him. I don't think someone of Giannis's caliber back in that day would have said that Jordan was a better player. But I mean, the people who weren't considered top tier players acknowledged the greatness of Michael Jordan then and in the documentary. So I don't think it's unheard of for people to recognize the greatness of other players. And part of the reason why people have good relationships now is, one, because the players coming into the league have attended camps of other current players. They attended camps with other players. Now that there are more traveling leagues, the Adidas circuit, the Nike circuit, like they're playing with each other. So they're getting to know each other versus the first time I'm meeting you is on the court as my opponent. So, I mean, they're like real life friends. So there's no reason to, act like you don't know this person now just because you're on the court. And I don't think it makes them any less fierce of competitors. I think a lot of what has led to a decrease in the intensity of the game has been that it's been legislated out through refereeing, not because players wouldn't play more intensely if they wouldn't get taxed for it.
You just said something, but it just seemed like it summed up what you said because they were friends because they go to camps together, teammates in college or teammates in camps, same, roommates. So we know the NBA players growing up or playing in the 80s, you turn our curve to the early 90s, camps weren't like what they are now, and let alone people being friends and let's say take the social media out of it. That wasn't there. So that's why it's a different era. This is how you saw people in the off season working out, training together, even though they're on opposite teams. That didn't go down like that back then. So I would put it on, and I think the mindset as well. I mean, again, go back to my boy CP3. He's very competitive, holds you accountable. He doesn't care who you are. But everybody does not have that mindset who came in the league when he did, though. And again, he doesn't back down from anybody. CP is barely 6'2", and he was set up to a 6'10" guy and will hold him accountable, don't care, get up all over in their face. But you won't have other people with that same mindset. But they came in the league together, and they did the camps together. So I think he's different, but a lot of other players are just been cool with each other so long. 80s, early 90s players just didn't have that. I think that makes a big difference. On top of, you said Jordan didn't play long enough. Well, you have a lot of the kids that are coming in the league earlier than he did by 2 years, which makes a difference. Jordan came to the league when he was after his junior year of college. A lot of the superstars who in America come in after their freshman year. So that's 2 years already that they have on them. On top of them playing AAU games in leagues when they're in high school, and the cats in the 80s wasn't doing it. A lot more mileage, but I'm just saying, I think that
Jordan quit. You ain't gotta stick up for him. He quit. He realized he was chipped.
If he quit, what's the difference between him leaving? Because you saw The Last Dance. You saw he said, all right, Phil knew that was his last year coaching. If you have a way with a coach and you gonna know he's leaving, some people decide when they have contracts that are I'm not gonna stay with this team because I know my coach is leaving or he about to get fired. So they want to leave too.
Sure.
Okay, how are you saying he quit? He walked away because he knew his coach wasn't coming back. And what's the difference between that and when these cats want to jump ship, like y'all talk about KD did? I'm not gonna win on this team, so let me go to another team to get a ring rather than work my way on the years with the same group of people. What's the difference? I said KD.
The difference is that Jordan left the sport. Those other people just went to go play on other teams. He felt
So
like
they're not considered quitting on their
he wasn't going
teammates.
to play the sport at all.
But they're not considered quitting on their teammates. Quitting the league,
No.
quitting the teammates.
No.
That's not quitting when you decide to jump ship. Like I didn't like how you doing it, but that's
it's over. The only time I've ever seen an athlete quit on their team was it 1 year ago or 2 years ago, where there was a defensive player for the Buffalo Bills who was considering retiring, decided to play, and then at halftime during the game, told his team he was leaving during halftime and retired. That's the only time I've seen a player quit on their team. If the season is over, you can do what you want to do. That's not quitting on your team. But going to play somewhere else and trying to still make a name for yourself in the game is different than if I can't win championships, then I don't want to play at all and leaving the sport entirely. And I don't think either one of those is quitting on your team. I'm not saying Jordan quit on his team. I'm saying he quit on the sport.
Well, if you want to jump ship, like I said with KD, you jump ship because you want to win the ring. People say, how you going to do that to one of your competitors, and now you join them? I'm not knocking it because we know in the NBA, you're held on a higher standard of getting the ring compared to an MLB team who has many more players and compared to NFL team. So
no. Why are you trying to be the band on the Titanic? If a ship is sinking, the smart move is to jump. Don't grab an instrument. Don't grab a drink.
I'm grabbing
that part I
playing till my fingers break before the ship sinks. I am.
That part I agree with. Like, I'm not staying on a sinking ship. I'm definitely the self-preservation is the first law. Like, I have to save self. I would definitely jump. Definitely jump.
And if I got mouths to feed, like if my husband was like, yo, I gotta stay on this bum ass Phoenix Suns team just because I don't want my no babe, we got stuff to do. You better see if you can, get you some more money, get you some more deals, some more endorsements going somewhere else instead of stay. I don't care about them. You team us first. I don't care about them fools on the court. If they ain't doing what's best for our family, deuces and keep it moving. So no, ain't no need to stay with no bum team for who, for what.
So let's say the Cardinals are not a bum team. The Cardinals are really good. Molina, our world-renowned catcher, is a free agent, and he wants to leave because the Cardinals are not going to offer him a longer extension, not even the money, just 2-year contract, right, Joe, instead of 1? He wants 2 years, and the Cardinals offer him 1.
I don't think the Cardinals even offered him anything yet, but he wants 2 years.
Okay. I believe he should just get 1. I mean, we know it's one of those things. The Cardinals ship isn't sinking. It's leveled right now. It ain't doctored, but it could get better, hopefully, and eventually. But he's thinking about jumping ship because he wants a longer extension. I'm like, okay, but you got, 20 years in the league and with the Cardinals, which is great. And he's looking out for himself. I get it, but at the same time, are you? Because you got everything you need. You got 2 World Series rings. I don't know how many gold gloves he has. I mean, we know he can't play every day. So it's like, what's wrong with just doing 1-year contract? You looking out.
Why are you blaming him instead of blaming the GM? Like, why is it on him to take less money or to take fewer years rather than the GM giving him the Kobe Bryant deal, since people like Kobe? Kobe wasn't good for those last 3 years in LA, but they respected what he meant to the team, to the city. And so they were like, okay, we'll make it an even 20. We know you ain't got but 3/4 of a knee between both legs. We know you got to put up 60 shots to score 30 points. Like, okay, that's fine. And so why are you mad at the player versus the people who have more money than the player does?
So I think and Joe, you chime in from a baseball fan perspective or any sport. You got that passion for the fan. You want to see your person be there as long as they can. But at the same time, when that player leaves, the organization is still there. You still want them to represent your city. And if they put all money in one person and then he jumps ships or is too old to finish it out, and now their money's tied up, they can't get more people. I guess it's a catch-22. I don't know. Because I see both sides of it. I love Molina, love my Cardinals, but I also want them to get better, tying up money on him, and 2 years he's not even going to be able to barely do half the season. That ain't fair either.
I'm a Molina fan, a softie for Molina. So, and with everything Yachty's done as a player and as a human being, I think he deserves whatever he wants. But I'm not going to say with all sports, because over the weekend you saw NBA throwing out some cash to some players. So, I guess COVID didn't mess them up. But with like baseball and hockey, those two sports there, it's like you've seen even today, there's been multiple players, all-star players that have been non-tendered by their team, and that's just how the sport's going right now. So if it was any other regular year, Yachty gets what he wants, but right now I don't know if he's going to get it. Sucks, but I do think I agree with Annie though. It's not like I'm not going to blame Yachty if he wants to go elsewhere. I think it's a upper management thing, because like I said, Yachty's done enough for the city in 20 years. You know, like he deserves whatever he wants. Honestly, that's just me though.
I'm never pro management. So
I would love for him to get it. I just know if somebody has a clock against them, and the fact that you put a lot of money towards one person who's not going to be able to produce like you want them to, and then we can't move on to the next season and get more people because our money's tied up in one person. I mean, it's happened to the NBA. When you talk about the John Wall and Westbrook trade, you know how much Wall's contract is? I mean, he signed it, and he got injured with that same season, the next season. He didn't play at all. And they threw the Brinks truck at him. That's unfortunate. That happens here and there. I get it. But then that's why the Wizards like, well, we want to move on and get better, but we kind of limit it because our cash is all to one person, and then it's not getting the results, the ROI, return on investment, like we wanted to.
But you can't get mad at players for leaving. When John Wall didn't say anything about wanting to leave, and he probably got a tweet a couple hours ago saying, you know what, you ain't on this team no more, you in Houston. So they be dropping people whenever they want to without notice. So and nobody says, why are you quitting on your players? It's considered a business decision. So if someone wants to go somewhere and play with their friends or play for more money or play where they can win a championship, it's a business decision. They're not quitting on nobody. Nobody thinks right now Washington quit on John Wall. It's like, oh yeah, we're getting out from under his expensive contract. He ain't played for the last 2 years. That's a good decision. We get somebody back.
And we got Miss Alice Williams on Facebook said, this is not just sports, it's also business. A player going to another team because he feels it's a better situation, either money or opportunity for a championship, is no different than someone leaving one company for another one to get a better job. Teams have no problem trading or dropping players who don't perform, which is true. Like I used to, like I'll be honest, like whenever Albert left St. Louis, I was a little heartbroken. You know, like we all saw him, like, you know, we grew up watching him play this and that. But again, like now that I'm older and whatnot, I don't, you know, it makes sense to me now. But like one that kind of like stings a little bit was the Alex Pietrangelo one this year, because we offered him more money. But I guess I don't know, I guess winning a Stanley Cup for the first time in 50 years wasn't enough for him or something. But I'm only a little salty about that one, but it'll go away. Like
he got the L in your book for that. Everybody else gets W, he gets the L for leaving.
Like it'll probably change, but I mean, if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. But again, like he made it seem like that Armstrong didn't offer him enough. We offered him enough money, more than I think what he's making in Vegas, and he would still be a captain. He knows what he's going to have here in St. Louis, and I forgot what else I was going to say. But no, like Army just kind of like, okay, well, we went to go sign Torrey Krug after that. We can't just sit on our hands and wait for you to decline us and then not have anyone to pick up. So.
St. Louis, Vegas, St. Louis, Vegas.
Well, I love St. Louis, so I'm just saying he came up from St. Louis. He helped break a huge a huge drought, like one of the biggest droughts in sports history.
Yeah, it was very impactful.
You know, he had the C on his chest, and he met his wife here in St. Louis, had all of his kids here in St. Louis, just everything St. Louis. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to do that, but you know, that's him. That's on him. Like I'm over it now. It stings a little bit because of what he did for the city. But that'd be like Molina getting the same contract. Like, say we offered him something, but then another team offered him the same exact thing, and then like Fred said, it was the no move clause. That's why Petro left. If it was something that small for Molina to leave after 20 years of being a Cardinal, then yeah, I'm gonna be a little salty about that.
Hey, I'm a fan. I'm passionate. I don't like to see my players that we grew up watching. We saw, like you said, with Pujols, we saw him grow up. We saw Molina, Waino. I mean, we saw them when they lost in the World Series, and we saw them win the World Series. So literally seen them grow up in front of our eyes. And now, the way I'm talking, I can tell he's not coming back. Now, the market's a little different this offseason because of COVID and people, even though the owners still have so much money, they just want to be real tight because they didn't make their revenue back per se. But we know they have it. Anyway, all I know is I think this is it. This is December. When January roll around, new year, new things, the Cardinals roster is not going to look the same like it's looking right now. So I'm already made up in my mind.
The Cardinals roster, I think, is going to look completely different for 2021. Like, completely different. I know they're not bringing back John Brebbia. That was announced tonight, but it's going to be different. Even Waino keeps saying he doesn't know what they're going to do. Like, they haven't really heard much from the Cardinals, so we'll see. It's going to be a really slow and interesting offseason for baseball.
Okay. Annie, what city you say you live in right now?
Tallahassee, Florida.
Okay. So what's their big attraction? The Jacksonville Jaguars, the Bucks? I mean, I know it's no professional team, but what's their sports attraction in Tallahassee?
Well, Florida State. So our football team and our men's basketball team are the biggest draws right now.
Okay.
Our sports teams, I mean, I would say the most popular team here is probably Miami.
Really? Yeah, you're in North Florida, Miami's South Florida, and it carries the whole state.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a ton of people who come from South Florida to go to school here.
Ah, okay.
And you know, the Bucks and the Jaguars in particular are newer franchises. So,
and the Bucks have been trashed for most of the years, besides the one year they won a Super Bowl, and they fell off.
Haven't been trash.
I mean, Brady's there, but I thought that's supposed to be a miracle worker there. I'm not sure it's going to happen, but.
Oh no, Arians was not going to allow Brady to get credit for any turnaround with the Bucks at all. But no, the Jaguars have. Oh, I can't even say they've been trash all the time. It's been so hit or miss with them. They're either in the NFC Championship or they're 1-15. It's kind of
big extreme there.
It is. That's really what it is. It's like they're either the number one draft pick or they're in the NFC Championship. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Okay.
But, yeah.
One of the headlines today with the NFL. First, the Broncos game. I don't know if y'all heard about what happened on Sunday. So, they had to quarantine all three quarterbacks. So they got a high school quarterback. Who was that player? He's their receiver? Was throwing for them as a quarterback, and they're doing a wildcat a lot. I was like, okay.
He played in college. He was a starter for 1 year.
Yeah, and it's not saying that's his fault, but I'm like, okay. And first thing in my mind, no judgment, Colin Kaepernick would have been ready. That's all I'm saying. He could have been ready. Look better than what they was looking. Just saying. Here nor there.
I think a coach tried being the quarterback, but the NFL wouldn't let it happen. But real quick, back to Brady. Siddall says that Brady's not the answer, which from what we're seeing this year, I can agree with that. They got all the offense talent in the world there in Tampa, but Brady's just not cutting it.
I think that Brady could be the answer if they ran plays that were suitable to how Brady is used to conducting an offense. And I think Arians is too committed to his air raid offense to really make the most of Brady's skills and how he feels comfortable commanding things on the field and in real time. So I don't blame Brady.
I don't know who to blame. I don't have any sympathy. He had his reign in New England, a cheating franchise. I feel how the Astros. I'm like, hey, when you get caught publicly, I'm gonna trash you, because most of these teams, I know they've been looking and stealing off each other for decades, especially when these coordinators change from one team to another and the players. Come on now. But when you publicly got caught and keep getting caught, that's my issue. I'm like, yeah, no sympathy in my book, Brady. But again, I hope you have a best season right after the sunset whenever you officially retire. Until then, I'm not like, I got to glue on Sunday, glue my eyes to the TV to look for a Brady. I just want to see some good football. Nothing against him. What else is going on here? So, what about our favorite friend this year, COVID? We got different COVID stories going on. What y'all think about this headline today? The NBA has 48 positive COVID tests from the players. 48. And training camp just opened up a few days ago. So,
I missed that. Can you say that one more time? I just had a thing come up from ESPN on Chris Collingsworth and women in football, but I missed we could come back to that. What was your question?
I said, so our favorite friend, COVID, he's done a lot. I must call him a he. He's done a lot this year. So,
definitely a he. COVID
he in the NBA, they just started up their training camps or their camps last week, and 48 players have tested positive so far. 48 out of 546 players. So, of course, they got to quarantine, do all that.
That scares me because they were so-called in a bubble, correct?
When they did it this summer, yes.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, y'all were in a bubbling and there's still positive cases. Like, what does that say? You know what I mean? So that's kind of scary.
They were in a bubble this summer, but not now, right? Uh-oh. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I was just asking, are they in a bubble right now for training camp, or are they all just in their respective cities working out?
They're in their respective cities working out, and there is no bubble for this upcoming season. So the NBA has a regular season schedule of 82 games. For this coming season, it's only going to be 72. So they only lose to 10 games. I guess only relative. But they're not doing bubble because when they did the bubble, thank goodness, it was only for 2 months, 2-3 months, depending how long you were there. But they couldn't see their families. Not until they got to like the conference finals when they let outsiders, which was immediate family in. But they're not going to do that for 72 games. So they're going to travel city to city and all of that. So they're going to be looking like the NFL. I'm not sure what the NHL has said, how they're going to do their season. Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, if you want to, because I feel like the NBA does things usually the right way with just about everything.
Mm-hmm.
The MLB, they had a couple, outbreaks this past year with the whole traveling thing. So I feel like the outbreaks that the MLB had, it was like 3 teams all together. That was like a whole, like a 2 Cardinals 2 weeks. But if the NBA, I mean, like I said, if they usually do things the right way, I think they'll be fine. Like, hopefully this is just a little break in the just everything that's going on, just training camp. Hopefully people, they do the right thing, quarantine and, wearing their mask and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be too worried about the NBA with that, though, honestly.
Out of the 4 major sports, they have the least amount of players. So that kind of works in their favor.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. Like, it's scary right now, but I think they'll be fine, honestly.
Okay. So what you think about with NFL? Like we're talking about those quarterbacks that are quarantined for the Broncos, they couldn't even get a regular starter out there or a backup out there. And they still got positive tests. They rescheduled the Ravens game, 2-3 times? I mean, it's like they're not gonna not let these cats play. They're just gonna say throw who you got out there. Hell, put a coach in there, put a jersey on at this point. Get the water boy, because they don't have enough people for some of these games, but they still want them to finish out this schedule. Different, I'll say that.
And if I was a player, I would too, because in the NFL CBA, they don't get their game day checks if they forfeit. So that's the reason for I will suit up somebody on the practice squad and still get the game day check. So I could understand that if I was gonna miss several $100,000 to millions of dollars.
But
And
would they hold the players accountable? I mean, if you get an outbreak, because you gotta have to contact trace, and who knows where it came from? It could have come from one of the executives coming down in practice and spreading it. I mean, you gonna hold the players accountable for getting? If you told them to do this regular protocol, mask up when you're not in practice, and don't go out the city limits or whatever, and they do that, and they still get it, and they have to forfeit you. I mean, I think that'd be effed up for real. Especially we know the NFL's a cartel, billions of dollars sitting on there, looking at all the little millions working, they sitting up the top doing nothing, and still being corrupt. I wouldn't think they should hold them accountable for that, though. I mean, I see moving the games just to get them out there to play, finish the schedule. But if you steadily having these outbreaks on different teams, people closing down the facilities, it's like, what are we doing here? I mean, you're playing the game, but you're not getting your product that people are paying to see on TV because you don't have enough consistent, I think, against the star players out there. But maybe they are, and they're just not doing well because I've been looking at the stats and the scores, and I'm like, this is what's happening. Like some of these teams are scoring a lot, other ones it's like a no-brainer. I'm like, whoa. I mean, the Chiefs are still doing their thing. Seahawks are still doing their thing. They're still winning. And then you got other teams, Annie's team, who's trash on trash, and still having COVID.
That's the highest rated.
You got the Giants just as bad too. It's like, okay, I guess we ain't blame everything on COVID. Some is just not having the talent. I'll just say that. That's against your Cowboys, but you know that's the truth. I mean, when Dak went down, everything went down here. And it's only getting worse. Like that is a sinking ship because they're talking about what's his name? The coach is McCarthy taking his job. I'm like, damn, ain't this only his like second year? Like, dang. The injury wasn't his fault.
His job, just because I think that Jerry Jones understands that this was an unprecedented year. So I think he'll at least make it through next season. But if next season isn't looking good, then I think they'll fire him. But I think he's safe this season and next season.
But if Prescott was healthy and playing, do you think the Cowboys would be in this bad shape? Because I don't know why they're trying to be off with the head coach's head. He doesn't have a reliable quarterback right now. That's not his fault.
Yeah, so I mean, we were 1-4, 1-3, something like that when Dak went down. So we didn't have a winning record. Now we certainly would have had a better chance to turn things around with Dak in. But one of the things that I don't think is getting talked about enough is that, well, a lot of people are talking about the bad season that Zeke is having, but I don't think people are talking enough about how COVID may be playing a role in that. And I think one of the things that we are losing sight of with sports is that we think that someone has a positive test and then they wait and then they have a negative test, so they must be fine. And I think what we've heard in the NBA bubble is that some people, even though they were negative, like they still felt some lingering effects of it. You know, Rudy Gobert talked about the lingering effects. There was some talk about, you know, Russell Westbrook's play because, I mean, he was like playing MVP level before the season stopped when Harden was out. And then he, you know, got COVID before going to the bubble and it was just like terrible in the playoffs. Cam Newton had an amazing first 3 games. He got COVID. He hasn't been the same since. Zeke, who's usually more secure with the ball, gets COVID, comes back. Now he can't hold on to it. He's like averaging like 2 fumbles a game now. And so I think that people aren't paying enough attention to, okay, just because somebody is negative now doesn't mean, 1, we should throw them back on the field, and 2, doesn't mean that there isn't some lingering effects to it that may be affecting their play. Because I don't think players are going to come out. I mean, being a football player myself, like, unless it was bad, you were never going to tell your coach that you were too hurt to go in. You would find a way to make it work. You would try to cover it up. You would try to, you know, walk it off, rub some dirt in it, whatever it is, you know, that you do to stay on the field. And so I don't think Zeke or Cam is going to be like, yeah, I'm actually still feeling the effects of COVID. Because I don't know if they'll treat it in the same way that they treat like the concussion protocol. Like if you're still feeling the effects of it, then they keep you out. And so people want to play. And so I don't think that they'll say like, yo, you know, like some of the people in the NBA bubble talked about their vision still being blurry, talked about like their equilibrium being thrown off, seeing double, like those sorts of things. And so that would explain, you know, a lot of their play, but I don't think that they're going to come right out and say that that was the reason, because it may end up taking them off the field.
So will they treat it like a regular injury? So how many times players, no matter what sport, have ACL injury, come back, or quad, whatever, and they come back, and a lot of times they'll tell you in an interview, I'm not 100%, but I'm almost there, but I felt good being out there in a while. They play through the injuries. So why can't people look at COVID like, yeah, I have lingering effects, but you play through it because you do with the other injuries? What's the difference?
No, I'm not saying that there's a difference, but I'm saying if someone hurt something like physically on their body and continued to play, that, you know, people would necessarily make excuses for them. You chose to play, but they would talk about their performance in context and be like, you know, well, so-and-so was playing with a bum thumb, or, you know, a sprained ankle, or, you know, a twisted shoulder or whatever. And no one is putting that same context around players who are coming back from COVID.
Hey, again, let's turn this page on 2020. Come on, 2021. Is there going to be a difference or not? I mean, let's just say, from what y'all been hearing, vaccine's supposed to come out for the regular population in the springtime. Will that or will that not make a difference with sports? Because if you're talking about players having lingering effects that they don't know, we don't know when their off season is. Well, I guess the NBA. Well, you know what? I mean, the scheduling. I said the NBA is doing a 72-game season, so I guess they're gonna stick it to normal, where it wraps up in mid-April and start the playoffs. So if the teams make it far, and I'm wondering, are they gonna let them get vaccinations in these other teams? Because, you know, the more money your job or business is, you know, you're gonna have access to stuff that normal people don't. So I wonder, are they gonna be one of the essential workers from all the players, from MLB, hockey, soccer? Will they be the ones to get it before us regular people get it, so that they can perform? Even though you're talking about they can have lingering effects who had COVID, I'm like, are they gonna get it? I was just curious about that. I think those on this guy.
Low key, I think that the athletes and the celebrities of the world will probably have access to it before the general population, just because money speaks. You know what I mean? And I just feel like they would. You know what I mean? Like, I just kind of feel like that. I can't really explain how I feel that way, but I feel like they would definitely have access to it before we do.
So what about college athletes? So who don't get paid to have millions of dollars, but they
would be like a close second. You know what I mean? Like, those people hire the best doctors, and, you know, those universities hire the best doctors and trainers, and, you know what I'm saying, things for those organizations. And I'm pretty sure that they are connected and will be able to have access to those vaccines as well, specifically for the reason of performing for the sport. What you think?
They're amateurs and don't get paid. Do y'all have a problem with that? They let the college athletes, not just the NFL, not just football and basketball, who generate the most money, but the lacrosse players, swim players, gymnasts. You have a problem with them getting access to the vaccine and people, regular population, don't? Because they have to perform and their schools make a lot of money from their sports.
I feel like, in general, I feel like college athletes should be paid because the schools are profiting from them. You know what I mean? Like, they are being, those tuitions from all those students enrolled there and people coming to those specific schools for specific reasons, they're generating money. You know what I mean? And college athletes don't get paid, can't take endorsements. You know, so it's kind of unfair to them. And then they still have to perform at a certain level academically to qualify to play the sport. You know what I mean? So that's like a double pressure. Like, okay, I got to keep my grades at a certain point, and I also got to perform highly when it's time to perform. So that's like double pressure. They should definitely be getting paid. Like I said, based off the point that the universities are profiting already.
So what about them getting the vaccine before it's regular folks because they're athletes? Like I said, it doesn't have to be just the basketball and football who make all the money, but gymnasts, volleyball, lacrosse, swimmers.
I mean, of course, us as regular folk would feel some type of way because we feel like we human just like them, right? So it's like, of course, we will feel some type of way like we deserve to have the same access as them as well. At the same time.
Okay.
I feel like it should be available across the board to everybody. I don't feel like anybody is more important than the next, sports, celebrity, or not. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like just as humans, we should all have access at the same time. That way, there's no hierarchy system to go by. Everybody, it's available to everybody, period. That's how it should be.
So going back to Annie's point, though, when she said because of some of these players have lingering effects and we don't know, and they get vaccinated because they got money to own it, make it happen. But you just said,
right.
Well, you think they should get it before it's because they have to perform? I got a job. I need to perform too, but I gotta wait because I'm not.
Right. So are you talking in a sense that there's a limited supply of the vaccine? Or
it's a first come, first serve. I wish it was like that, but it's not going to be that way. And I'm just asking y'all for because these are athletes, and she mentioned about them having lingering effects of COVID, and we want to prevent next seasons from being COVID infected players, no matter what sport. Should they be able to get it above us regular folks?
No. That's why I said it should be. I feel like it should be across the board. There is nobody better than the next. I feel that's the way I feel. You know, just because you're a college performing athlete does not mean you deserve a vaccine before me. Just like you said, you have to perform at work as well. You have a family to feed as well. So it's those families that are important, not what you not your occupation, so to speak. It's about being able to provide for your family. And if you need to be able to provide for your family, that vaccine should be available to you.
So again, spin-off question. So Joe, let's just say baby Joe's an all-star softball player playing in college. And their school's offering her vaccine. The school's offering her vaccine. That's your baby, even though she's not at home with you. They say, yeah, she can get it, but you gotta wait. But she's like, well, that's my mama. She needs to be vaccinated. She doesn't want to get sick. And they're like, no, only you can get it, she can't. Would you think that's fair and right?
I mean, as long as she's all right, I'm fine with that. But that's how I would think as a soon-to-be mother. But yeah, as long as she's got it and she's all right, then that's fine.
Okay. So
I don't think it's just about whether or not, it's not, to me, it's not about performance for athletes and that's why they get it when other people don't. It's about who is in a position to cause major transmission events. And so if you are going to have, these players coming from these different respective teams, they're coming with, not just the, 12 to 15 players on their roster, but all these coaches and trainers and all these. So you're coming with these huge operations, you're having them be in venues that are being staffed by people, and then you're introducing fans into that mix. That because they are going to be around so many people, and events like sporting events can be the hubs of contact tracing and lots of, transmission and spread. That would be the reason for having them get it before others. If there has to be some sort of, hierarchy. And as Alice Williams talked about, it's in terms of production. So when they mass produce it, they're not going to wait until they have enough to give everybody before they release it. And so there are going to be tiers that are created. And as she mentioned, I agree that people who are, healthcare workers would get it first. But I wouldn't be opposed to, people who are going to be in these high concentration environments and potential spreaders, because not only could they get it at that event, but if they're now going to go travel to 31 other cities and also be around these other massive groups of people, new cities, and, these arenas and fans, then yeah, I would want them to have it because I'm not going anywhere but down the street. I'm not going to put, I'm not putting potentially millions of people at risk by me simply having it. The other thing is that I think the NBA will probably do what they did with the rapid testing. So when they got early access to the rapid testing kits in Orlando and people complained about them having it, then they did matching orders. So for every order that they brought into the bubble, they sent another order to hospitals around the Orlando area and paid for it. So I imagine they might do a similar thing with the vaccine if they're going to have first access, is to do like matching orders and make sure that other organizations in whatever cities they have are also getting the same access to stuff that they're getting as like a good effort to the community. So I imagine it would be similar.
Gotcha. Joe, could you read some more comments for me? I ain't got the best contact in right now.
We've had a lot of comments throughout a lot of things. Miss Alice is on and Annie just read a lot of those on Facebook. Let's see. Well, Sidal said that all the Broncos quarterbacks got fined for not wearing masks. I'm just going through some of these comments because we haven't been reading them as much as we should have been probably.
Shame on me.
There's a whole bunch of them, man. They're flying in on YouTube. They're flying in.
It's all Annie got to start with the Cowboys.
Jet speed.
Yeah, it's just. I think earlier Annie made a Titanic reference, and Fred was like, "Wow, she used a Titanic reference."
I said I was going down with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. Talking about your America's quote unquote football team.
Annie's fault for saying that foolishness.
Pete Trewick said, "I'm a Broncos fan, and I will still say Dallas is America's team." Sidal said, "The Broncos won 2 titles since the Cowboys won their last one."
Don't matter. Everybody, the New England Patriots have won 6 since the last time we won one, and we're still America's team. People still don't care about the Patriots.
I think America could all agree during those 6, no one liked them besides Boston. So, but yeah, it's just a lot of comments about just all kinds of stuff all over the place.
Sorry guys, y'all gotta remind me. Blame it on my head and my bad contact.
It's all good.
But hey,
good stuff though. That's what I'm like getting everybody's feedback. I'm like, yes.
A lot of comments though, so that's good. That means we're somewhat interesting, I guess.
I think the other thing, going back to the vaccine, is that from the earliest trials, because a lesser version of the actual disease, is that people still have effects of COVID from getting the vaccine. And so just because they get the vaccine doesn't mean that they're immediately going to feel well. So that's another thing to consider in them getting the vaccine, is that they're going to be sick for a while.
Well, time will tell. All I can say is, I know you said the NBA was donating tests when they were in Orlando, but y'all remember back in March when they shut down because Gobert and Mitchell tested positive. I'm like, that's money, because how they was getting tested and we didn't barely even knew about the virus for real. I mean, they got
exactly. Exactly. Like what?
That's why I was mentioning about money, because if they were getting tested before it was even free testing for the regular folks, and I can't even speak on the hockey because they were around the same time the NBA seasons, and I don't know if they were doing testing like the NBA, but it was like, dang.
Yeah, NHL was doing it every single day, I think, as soon as they went into the arena. And I don't think NHL had a single positive test the entire time they were there for the playoffs.
It proved that the bubbles work, but like I said, the NBA, I know they're not going to do that again because it was just too long where they had them in, well, they will be in the bubble too long with this coming season. But
and NBA was just the playoffs, right?
Huh?
NBA was just the playoffs, right?
No, they did some of the regular season. They had the regular season ended. It was supposed to end in mid-April. They stopped the season in mid-March. So how many games they had to do? Probably was that 10 games or so that they had to finish up. But they didn't invite everybody to the bubble. The bottom 10 teams couldn't come.
Gotcha. Yeah, NHL's kind of not really the same thing. They just kind of had more of like an expanded playoffs type format. But like I said, NHL did a really good job. And I can't usually say too much about Gary Bettman in the NHL, but he did a good job with that this year.
Yeah. NHL, this is my ranking order of who gets it right and who's progressive. NBA, and between NHL, MLB, and NFL's at the bottom. MLS, I'm going to really get on board with them once St. Louis SC starts playing, then I'm going to start paying attention how they do it.
MLS is awesome. My team just advanced to the Western Conference Finals after beating Dallas yesterday. So
Okay. Well, please do tell more about this since I'm not all the way engaged, but catch me up to speed.
So I'm a Seattle Sounders fan, and
Okay.
yeah, Seattle's been amazing. It's been oh, sorry. I'm like trying to pay attention to comments, but then I can't actually talk. I'm like, I'll go up. It's like, squirrel.
I wasn't even gonna try. That's why I'm throwing all the comments. I'm like, bad contacting this, no bueno.
Yeah, so someone else is gonna have to do that part. But yeah, so I'm a Seattle Sounders fan. We beat the Dallas Football Club yesterday, 1-0. So we advanced to the Western Conference Finals.
Mhm.
I love the Sounders, not only because they're the only one of my teams doing right by me in 2020. All of my other teams have failed me miserably. And then
Who are these other teams so I can laugh? Who are these other teams? I know it's not the Cowboys. Please, no, not them.
So Dak and the Cowboys have failed.
That's gonna be the jumping at these Cowboys because you're such a diehard fan.
I really am. I love them with all of my heart. The Clippers failed me.
Oh God, hey,
Paul
Shannon
George
Sharp.
talking nonsense now.
Shannon Sharp made sure everybody knew how bad the Clippers failed. Not just you, but failed all the other fake.
Failed America.
No. Shannon Sharp made sure that the world knew, not just the United States, the world knew how the Clippers failed the fake LA fans. I'm just saying, that's on the record.
And Paul George did like an interview today, so I was reading some of his quotes. He gets the big side eye right now.
He gets the side eye about his fiance, but I'm not gonna go there about the show.
He gets the side eye about the
He put on
fiance.
his Instagram. She got a ring before I did. You gonna
Right.
brag about that?
Right.
Who does that?
It kind of messes that to say. No.
Trash. He
Exactly. So he's on my shit list right now.
Well, you actually put most of the Clippers roster on that one. You can do Beverly, you can do Kawhi, you can do, if you want to put Doc in, he's not with them anymore. I mean,
I'm so glad Doc is gone. And I thought I wanted Lou.
hey, what's wrong with Teron?
Huh?
What's wrong with Teron Lou? He's from the Show Me State.
I don't know if something's wrong with him, but I just want Mark Jackson back in coaching, and I want him.
Now, I've been saying that, and Fred and instead could tell, I'm always pro Mark Jackson. Ever since the Warriors let him go, because he helped build that team, I don't still think they give him enough credit. I've been saying
Yeah.
they need another coaching job.
Absolutely. I love Mark Jackson. So I'm not saying Lou, is going to be bad. I'm just glad that Doc Rivers is out of there. I like Doc Rivers as a man, and him as a person. But man, it's been a struggle having him coach the team this long. Let's see. The Slam, our season was canceled, so that was disappointing. And the Pirates, I never expect them to do right. Well, to start
Pittsburgh Pirates?
camp every April. Oh yeah, I'm a
You
Pirate.
hear this, Joe? You got a Pittsburgh Pirate person.
Oh yeah, I'm a Pirate fan. Every April, I have hope that we are going to win the pennant, and then about
Whoa.
May
You
1st.
you went extreme. You
Those are
said
Flames.
pennant. You didn't say the division where the Cardinals and Cubs and Brewers. You said pennant.
Yes, every
The
April.
Reds will win a pennant before the Pirates do at this point. The Pirates had it going on. They fell off, and they're sunk for a while, baby. The Reds will have a better chance. I promise you.
I will always believe in my Pirates.
Joe, help her out, please. Please help the girl out.
No, I was just gonna say the Pirates had a big win. People talk about all over Twitter the last couple of weeks. It's Cole Tucker, one of their young kids.
Mhm.
Apparently, he's dating Vanessa Hudgens, so that's a big win right there.
Oh my God, girl.
Because Vanessa Hudgens is a babe, and so that's a big dub.
See,
Okay.
That's been all over Twitter lately.
Because of her,
Okay.
she's like, who is she? She's Instagram model. She's famous actress.
He was in High School Musical, buddy.
High School Musical.
Yeah. Love High School Musical.
Give me the L for that one, because I've seen no high school or musical. So give me the L. I'll take it. Sorry.
Well, you know, all the singing and dancing, that's right up my alley.
The only thing I saw a glimpse of singing and dancing was Glee. I haven't seen Hamilton. I haven't seen.
Oh, Hamilton was great. Hamilton is like, even if you've never seen a Broadway operatic production, like, you definitely should see Hamilton because you would enjoy it. Like, it's that good.
So I got to find time, I guess, over Christmas break. I don't know. But you know what? The NBA is going to be having some good games on Christmas, y'all. That's what's hard. Balancing 9 sports with the sports TV. Because I'm like, oh, I don't want to miss these games. Because I got college games, too. I'm a big Georgetown basketball fan. I love that game. I watch theirs. I watch Mizzou's. I watch SLU's. Like, everybody watching others. I'm like, I got to watch these games. I don't like watching recorded baseball, basketball. I don't like recorded sports.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I was going to be excited about with, well, obviously I'm excited about a lot more things with Mia coming, baby Boba. But one thing I was excited about was sitting down watching hockey with her. But like Fred said in the chat, that word is the players are so mad with the NHL right now that there may not even be a season, or it may be delayed with NHL. So that would suck, you know, because it's not going to start on January 1st like they were going to, but we'll see.
Why are the players mad? What's the problem?
I think it's just the players in the league just can't agree on anything.
But they just did a bubble with no problem. So what's the issue when it start the season, or what? No fans, what's the disconnect?
I think it's everything, and then losing money. It's all about the money, you know. Yeah, like he said, it's prorated contracts. That's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was another team that let me down. I'm a Penguins fan. We had a disappointing showing in the NHL playoff bubble.
I don't feel sorry for y'all. Y'all got enough Stanley Cups. Y'all all right. Sid the Kid, keep y'all held down. Y'all all right.
No, we ain't all right. You always need more.
So were you living in Pittsburgh at one time? How you be a
I'm from
Pirates
Pittsburgh.
fan?
I'm from Pittsburgh.
Originally from there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, we know we can't even clown the Steelers. I don't know why you're not a Steelers fan.
I'm playing clown the Steelers. I
Right.
That's a disconnect.
God reached out his hand and touched me and blessed me.
Girl. He is saying, stop speaking that blasphemy, child.
It's God's team. It's America's team. That's
Stop
why
speaking the blasphemy.
so that God can
No
watch his
cowboy
favorite
juice for you.
every
Stop drinking that
Sunday.
cowboy juice. Okay? We know what the Steelers do. We know what they're doing now, what they did back then. We can't say that for the Cowboys. They had that few glory years in the 90s and they've fallen off ever since. The
It don't
Steelers
matter.
won a lot. They fell off their back winning. They even got the old school quarterbacks with Big Ben out there and they still winning. Shout out to Mike Tomlin.
I love Mike Tomlin.
It's almost like apples and oranges talking about the Steelers and the Cowboys.
Yeah, it is like apples and oranges because the Cowboys are America's team and the Steelers suck.
I mean, again, I'm not American right now because I'm not for that. So they're not my team at all. Never will be. You literally couldn't pay me to say I'm a Cowboys fan. This, no lie.
Who's your
Cowboys,
team?
Duke basketball, and somewhat Dodgers.
Who's your football team? Who's your NFL team?
When the Rams left St. Louis, I had a little void there.
Mm-hmm.
So I started following teams that had good head coaches and good black quarterbacks finally getting their chance. So
Okay.
right now I've been following, of course, Seahawks. I follow Ravens, but I don't have like a diehard team. That's just
Gotcha.
NFL though. Now NBA, MLB, NHL, hometown person all day. I mean, we don't have an NBA team here, but I do follow the Lake Show. I do follow here and there.
I love the Cowboys. I've committed misdemeanors for them. We go way back.
What? You hear this craziness? Stop drinking that Cowboys juice. It's gonna kill you, sweetie. I promise you. This juice,
No,
it's gonna kill you.
the
Don't do
elixir
it.
of life. It's the fountain of youth. If anybody who's watching the show right now has ever watched a Cowboys game with me, I'm specifically looking at Sadal. Stanton is in the chat right now. If you've watched a Cowboys game with me, you can feel free to chime in and let them know. Oh, details. Let me see. What is something where the statute of limitations is up? Let me tell you what I did. So I drove to Arlington with a concussion and a sprained ankle from St. Louis. This is when I was still living in St. Louis. So I had gotten in a car accident the night before, was not about to miss my tour because I had tickets for a tour of Cowboy Stadium. This is when it was still fairly new. So I drove in a rental car from St. Louis to Arlington with a concussion and a sprained ankle. And then when we got out on the field, I pretended to trip and fall in the end zone. And before I got up, I tore up pieces of the turf and stuck it in my bra. So I have like a napkin full of turf from the end zone from Dallas Stadium.
Hey, I would do the same thing if I was in one of my favorite sports facilities. Like, here's a gross one for me. In 8th grade, we got to do this tour of Busch Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I licked the Cardinals dugout bench because Yadier Molina's ass was on that thing. So I did. I don't care. I'm still alive. I would have, if I was able. They have the grass all blocked off. So Fred said no, Joe.
That's legit.
I want to
respect that.
read these
I
comments
respect
now
that.
because once they hear this one, they're gonna be like, "What?" Yeah.
If I was able to take anything, I would have done it. But again, I was only in the 8th grade, so that was a while ago.
Oh my God.
I respect that.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Sports makes you do some crazy things whenever you love it.
So that means you would take the sweaty towel of whomever and take it home with you. Like, who would be a person you would take a sweaty towel home from the locker room? Any major athlete?
Honestly, probably anyone because they're an athlete. Like I always say Javier Baez hit a home run. I hate when people throw the balls back into the field. Like, no, I'm keeping that. Okay. That's a home run from a good ball player, and whoever was pitching touched that ball as well. So, I mean, I'm keeping anything.
Okay, it doesn't matter how they look, because if it was somebody that was really fine, he's like, yeah, I got to take his towel home over there. You only get one person on that team, sweaty towel.
So I would take any Cowboys towel, but if we're talking non-Cowboys division, I want Klay Thompson's towel.
Okay. I can get I can see that. I got you.
Yeah, if it's not the Cardinals, like obviously Molina, but other than that, I'm probably going Chris Bryant of the Cubs because he's beautiful, or Bryce Harper. But
Bryce, I can see him. Okay.
Buddy and Purple Rain.
Now, just for you. See?
Buddy and Purple Rain. Fred wants to know if you guys have any crazy stories like me and Annie.
Me? No. I've been into the locker room with the Cardinals when I was an intern, and actually, how old was I? I was what, 2021? I was interning Fox 2. This was in the second Busch Stadium. Went in there with one of the sports anchors. It was nobody's towels that I wanted, but I did see some men's private parts, and there was not covered. And I was like, do they see a woman in here? Like, I think it was one of the relievers. I forgot his name. I'm like, damn, he just got his all out. I'm like, did they not see a woman? I mean, nobody's towel I wanted from there, though. Trust me. They didn't have anybody I liked on the team like that.
Oh, you're so modest. You're so cute. Like, oh, didn't they cover up because a woman was in the locker room?
Now, the track team doesn't like that. Now, if it was somebody like, when I started watching the Cardinals, when they had like Eric Davis, Brian Jordan, Ray Langford, different story. But by then, we're talking about 2003, 2004. Nah. Now, even Pujols, I didn't want him like that.
What about you, Purple Rain? You got any stories?
Okay, so my daughter came in here and asked me a question. Can you fill me in on what kind of story this is supposed to be?
So, like, I've licked the Cardinals' dugout bench before because Yadier Molina sat on it, and I didn't care if I got sick or not. Annie, she was at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, drove from St. Louis with a concussion and what'd you say, like a broken foot or something?
Ankle.
Sprained ankle.
Sprained ankle, and she snatched some turf grass. So.
Oh wow, yeah. So listen. No, I don't have any crazy stories like that. Mostly because I move with my logic. So like I've never been so crazed that I would like do anything to like go to a game. Even though I am I would do anything to go to a Lakers game, but that particular portion of my life hasn't happened as of yet. So no, I've never done anything crazy like that. But I do get it, if that makes sense. I do get why you would do that because of the love of it and of that player.
Yeah, it's like so some people have these big celebrity crushes and stuff, and they do some crazy things for celebrities. So that's
right. That's why I still like I totally get it. Like I guess I just haven't had that opportunity be presented to me because I'm pretty sure like I probably could have done some crazy stuff just to see Kobe play. Was very disappointed that I never got to see him play in person. But I watched too many games to count. And but yeah, so I get it. And kudos to you for having that moment. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a moment for you. Also, to just feel that because that was something important to you. So hats off.
It was a good time.
You know what? I can see you doing this purple.
I know.
If you get to a Lakers game, I can see you twerking right under one of the baskets, like twerking real hard.
I would totally do it.
I can see.
I would totally do it.
She gonna twerk her life off under the basket.
Would have the time of my life. You know, I just haven't been presented with that opportunity. Even though Kobe is not with us anymore, it still would mean something to me to actually be at Staples Center, like breathing the same air that he once breathed. It's just something kind of special about that person having that type of effect on me because I'm not easily influenced and I just feel like he was just a great person. So that would be definitely one for the books, even though he's gone and not here playing anymore. I still would like love that. That would be awesome.
Is that on your bucket list then?
It definitely is on my bucket list, along with quite a few other things that my cautious self has yet to realize. But I'm definitely gonna be checking them off here soon. So I'm game for that.
Okay.
Another question for you, Purple Rain from Fred, was what was your thoughts when the Lakers won the title?
Oh man, I felt such a sense of pride. I'm not gonna lie. I have been a Lakers fan since I was like in middle school. You know what I mean? And just going on their roller coaster ride with them has been a blast. And to see them do it right after Kobe passed was just like kind of like homage to the legacy that he built in LA. I loved it. Like I cried a little. I ain't gonna lie, because it was a emotional thing, and I felt the driving force behind them, and I just want to say it was Kobe, you know, because I'm biased, you know, with that conversation. But yeah, I'm glad they did it. That's all. I'm gonna end it with that. I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they was able to pull it off. Didn't really think anybody could stop them at this point. You know what I'm saying? As we talked about LeBron being such a beast, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because I was never a LeBron fan. And we talked about this the last time I was there on the platform Sportstalk show. I was never a LeBron fan. But to see Kobe actually like give his blessing and it made it okay for me to like LeBron. So salute to Kobe for that. I always thought LeBron was a decent human being. I just never was a fan. Nothing bad. I just never was a fan. And Kobe doing that just made it feel like it was okay to like him. And you know, so I've been rooting. I've been rooting. Mm-hmm.
So before Kobe got to the Lakers, you weren't Purple Rain that never existed?
No, I mean, I the love for the Lakers goes back even before Kobe got there.
Okay.
I'm a Magic fan as well. Kareem fan as well. And even with the like I like good players. So even with the rivalry, I like Larry Bird. You know what I mean? And then I grew up and my mom was a Bulls fan. So then, you know, Michael Jordan was the guy, you know, but then when I started like, you know, coming into my own, Kobe was the guy. You know what I'm saying? And he did that for 20 years and it was like, okay, you know, and then I do like Steph and CP3 and I got some other favorites that I just like their style and because I'm a woman, maybe I just like the way they look. Who knows? You know what I mean? But it's all good because if you in the NBA, you got some type of skill level, right? It's all about who you connect with outside, right? So, you know.
Wait, outside not the locker room.
I mean, period. You know what I'm saying? It's about who you connect with, right? In any situation. So, you know, whether it be a woman that just like the way you look, she's gonna watch you play, right?
Okay.
So you gotta think about those type of things. I just love the game. I played basketball middle school and high school. I grew up with 5 boys. So if you can imagine, I played softball, I ran track. I was very athletic. And so just that gives you a little bit something extra. And I know, Annie, I'm speaking to you because you've done some stuff and it just gives you a little something extra. You know what I'm saying? That competitive edge in certain situations over people that are not quite so competitive. You know what I mean? So, you gotta love it. I mean, sports is just fun and camaraderie and togetherness. Everybody's working together for a common goal, right? So I love everything about it, no matter the genre or anything. I just love it all.
Speaking of Miss Annie, y'all don't know if y'all peeped her earlier when she was showing her fingers off for her ring. I peeped that she made sure she did ass fingers on us.
Say, don't play with it, Annie. Tell them don't play with it.
Like,
don't play with it.
Look at my resume.
Check me out.
Right. Oh, hilarious. Excuse me. Joe, so did anybody comment, Joe, on your comment with licking the dugout seat? Because Melina, because that I figured somebody was just going to light you up with that one.
Fred just said
turf
no.
in your bra.
Fred just said no, and then I think Miss Williams, she just put a bunch of laughing faces to it.
Mm-hmm. I've never heard a story like that before. That was I'm telling you. Look, baby Joe's going to hear an interesting story when she gets a little older.
And I went in the Cowboys locker room and I sat in Des Bryant's locker and I probably should have licked it.
Should have done something, yeah.
You're making me think now. So next time I go somewhere, I'm like, is this a licking situation?
At least give it a little peck or something.
How much do I care about this person?
Oh my God. Do you even like licking or kissing situation?
That's all I'm saying.
Oh my goodness. Y'all are hilarious, I must say. The last topic I want to bring up before we wrap up everything here. It's been a great night too. Good, fun laughs. Y'all are again hilarious. So I can't wait till we do another ladies' night. So name me what do you call it? Not a theme song. what do you call it? Theme music. So, all of you, if you all were to walk outside your door right now, walk down the street, what song would you want playing behind you so everybody know your presence?
All right, well, me and family members always talk about this. Like, if we were in the big leagues, what would our walk-up song be? You know, so pretty much the same thing. Mine is going to be, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I love Darth Vader. And mine would be the Imperial March. Me and my husband at our reception came out to that and had a lightsaber fight whenever they announced this at the reception. So I'm definitely doing the Imperial March. I think it's a badass little orchestra music, whatever you want to call it. And I love Darth Vader. So yeah, that's what I would do.
That's cute. Okay, now you had a saber fight. Cute. All right, Miss Purple Rain, what would be your walk-up music or your theme music?
I would have to go with something like, because mind you, I'm a music buff, so like, but I'm gonna go with Nipsey Hussle, Double Up, and I choose that song because that's kind of like how I like to live my life. Like, I like to capitalize on every opportunity, just make everything that much greater. And I'm also a Nipsey fan. And I dig the song. Like, I can listen to it on repeat for hours. You know what I mean? The vibe of it. So yeah, Nipsey Hussle, Double Up. That's my song.
Okay. And what about you, Miss Annie?
So mine would either be Slam by Onyx
Oh, okay.
or Big Rings by Drake.
Look at Purple Rain. What is she grooving to? We can't.
No, I'm agreeing with Annie, but I'm on mute, so it looked like I'm over here like.
Yeah, your head was popping. So I'm like, what, she bring up the song?
Yes, because Onyx, like, come on, man. How old are you?
38.
I mean, I know it's not polite to ask that, but I just feel like we in the same area because I'm 33 and Onyx, come through. A lot of people don't even know nothing about Onyx. That's why I asked it. I'm sorry.
I
had to look it up. I don't know what it is. I'm obviously the
Onyx Slam.
Yeah. I'm listening to it right now. It doesn't sound familiar.
Aww.
And you're beautiful, by the way. Your black is not cracking. Tell them what a 38 look like. A 38-year-old look like. Come through, Annie.
Because y'all don't think Onyx had that many like radios. So they had a couple of albums.
I mean, they weren't with the music. They weren't like extremely popular, but like if you were born in that time, you know who Onyx is. But I really like the fact that like I don't even know his name like for real. Is it Geronimo? He transitioned into movies and stuff, and I really dig that.
Because I feel like
or something like that. Like, don't quote me on the name. Like, don't come in the comments attacking me because I messed the name up.
Don't come for me.
Y'all know who I'm talking about. The one that was in South Park. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I know you know Annie.
Yeah, he was in Sunset Park.
I don't know his name. I want to be politically correct, but that's not always possible.
For a little bit.
Say it again.
I think he was also on Moesha for a little bit.
He was, and he was also on Ride. Have you seen Ride? With Lady of Rage and I know y'all seen Ride. Come on, don't do me like this.
I heard of it, but I never saw it.
But yeah, like I dig that aspect because I like talented people, but I not only like talented people, I like multi-talented people that have a few things up their sleeve. So that was always dope. I just felt like they never got the credit that they deserve. So big ups to Annie for even mentioning them. That was dope.
His name or government name is Fredro Starr.
There we go. Come on. Big ups, Fredro Starr. And he's not dead, surprisingly, because you probably would have thought he was, but he's not. And that's dope too, because as we all know, Life is short. So salute. Keep doing your thing, partner.
I just call him Q because I feel like in every movie,
Me too.
he's Q.
That's why I was like, I don't really know his name, but
Yeah.
y'all know who I'm talking
up.
about. Yeah,
Fredro
Fredro Star.
Mm-hmm.
We giving you your flowers while you still alive. There you go.
What about you, Bunny?
Believe it or not, I a Lil Jon fan. Who you with? Yeah. Lil Jon, boy.
The Palace days. I know you from Louis. The Palace.
I was at the Palace, yes. More than Saints, I was at the Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to Lincoln too. We had some more Lil Jon fun, and anytime we kicked it, like give y'all.
Oh, Bunny. Wait a minute. So I have a fun fact for you. You went to Lincoln.
I did.
I actually performed with an artist at Lincoln, opening up for K Camp and Cash Out. Like, I don't even know what year it was, but I was on your territory. I just wanted to let you know I was there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's because everybody gets to open up for anybody. Even
shout out to Big Rich, by the way. That's the artist that I was there performing with some years ago. It's been years, but dope. So
when you get back into performing, just strictly doing Zumba, so would you get back into performing?
Oh my God, it's rough. With that aspect of my life, I have a few aspects which makes up my capacity, but with the performing, it's been rough because we haven't been able to do any events.
Of course, with the COVID, but
everybody is scared out of their minds. Like nobody wants to say, "Oh my God, I'm going to this event," and there could be a ton of people there. Like, don't nobody want to do that right now. You know what I mean? So a lot of my avenues have had to transition to virtual because that's the way that we're interacting with people right now. Look at us right now. Where are we? What are we doing? You know what I mean? So it's like safety over everything. We're still serving the purpose that we were meant to serve. We still having the conversation that we were gonna have. We're just doing it virtually. I've learned to accept it. I've taught so much on Zoom over the past 6 months. I'm spinning. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Because I'm used to that personal interaction with people. But I also am a very good adapter. So I've kind of like just jumped on the train and just never looked back. But I definitely missed that interaction with my people and just being able to see them progress in person and not just virtually. But we're doing the best we can do. So that's all you can ask for.
You're right. And I must say, shout out to Joe. Nice Christmas tree in the background. Shout out to Wayne.
Joe.
Nice Christmas tree in the background.
Hey.
No? Okay.
Listen, don't judge me. I gotta go get a skirt. What's today? I'm gonna get a skirt on Friday.
Yeah, get a skirt.
But it's there. It's there.
I like it. I like Christmas, the lights and everything, especially with all that being enclosed more now. I love it. The decorations. So Annie, if you have some, none at all. I was gonna say just show a little picture of one. I don't have none in here, but it's in the front room.
I've got a cowboy stocking and a cow.
There she go with the damn blasphemy, the damn cowboys. Come ahead and show Christmas. You bring up the damn cowboys. You are the Grinch that stole Christmas because you mentioned the Cowboys. Forget Coach.
Yeah.
The Grinch is the Dallas Cowboys, okay? Oh my gosh, Eddie, you were doing so well. Just had to just go speak that blasphemous words of the Dallas Cowboys, please. Goodness gracious. They just said COVID, shoot. Anyway.
Oh my God. Ew, my God.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So before we go, guys, since I'm just talking about Christmas, Y'all have anything y'all looking forward to on Christmas, whether it's a sporting event, doing a family tradition or anything?
My I'm sorry. So those three little beans that I mentioned earlier, as always, year after year, I'm just excited to see the look on their faces when they receive those gifts from me. Because me and my kid, I talk to them, and I'm not what's that word? I'm not trying to tell anybody how to parent, but my children know who Santa is. It's me. So I'm just looking forward to them reacting to the gift that they get, the gifts that they get. And that's about it. Like I'm real simple. I'm easy to please. It doesn't take much for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully me is here by Christmas, have our daughter here for Christmas. I think that'd be pretty awesome. Everything's different this year. Usually we go to my grandma's house and there's 40, 50 people are crammed in her tiny little house, but it's different. So we'll see what happens. Who knows? We might be in the hospital this year, giving birth or something, but it's just all completely different. So I don't know, but I just love Christmas and sitting in the living room with the Christmas tree on. It's just peaceful and whatnot. So no matter what's going on, it's still a good time and still remember the reason for the season.
I gotcha.
Yeah, mine isn't quite so sentimental. I'm looking forward to the Clippers playing the Nuggets on Christmas Day.
You're supposed to say the Lakers playing the Mavericks, not the Clippers.
No. Why would I care about that?
Because it's a true basketball team that's not going to sit there and disappoint you and choke like the Clippers did. Come on.
No.
Work with, not against.
Like I said, all of my teams have disappointed me this year except for the Sounders. Knock on wood.
You're going to have to give me a crash course when the SC get ready to play so I can figure out who their competition is and who will be their biggest rival. So,
I mean, once St. Louis gets a team, you guys will probably end up in the Western Conference with us. So I'm sure that we'll play each other.
okay.
But yeah, I would say go to matches when St. Louis gets a team, but you should become a Sounders fan. Don't worry about becoming a fan of the St. Louis team. That would be
That's the blasphemy corner. Yeah, I know a lot of things she said just is like blasphemous. Like, what? Why would I do that?
Why would you not root for the Sounders? They're amazing.
Why am I rooting for them? How did you become a Sounders fan?
A Cowboys fan?
No, Sounders.
Oh, I started following soccer when I lived in LA, and I went to some Chivas and some Galaxy matches, but I don't know. I just thought I would like the Sounders, and then my dad lives in Seattle, and when I moved to Seattle, then I went to Sounders matches there. So
And they're part of MLS, right?
Mhm.
So St. Louis season starts in 2023. They had to push it back a year, I think, with COVID.
Sure.
So we started 2023.
Mhm. So you have 3 years to become a Sounders fan.
Again, I just said St. Louis. I need Joe to come back because I need you to make sure you read her T-shirt. It's very, very important. That will never be blasphemous. So when she comes back, read her shirt and realize why I will never become a Sounders fan. I don't care if I had to live in Seattle. I'm always a hometown person. This is my saying. I'm from the
Hometowns are
show.
overrated.
I can show you better than I can tell you, okay?
Hometowns are overrated unless you're a Pirates and Penguins fan, and then it's not overrated.
You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. You see that? You see your shirt? You see her shirt?
No, what's it say? Respect St. Louis.
All day, baby. All day. Remember that. Remember that.
This is the St. Louis team that I respect. So
I respect the slam too. I give it to you ladies out there going hard. My old coworker, I told you that, right? Monique Silas, I used to work with her. She was a slam. And after y'all won that championship, I don't know if that was the first or second one, we had Halloween at work and did a little costume thing. So she put on her slam jersey. I had a coach's clipboard and a whistle. other coworker, I forgot what she had, but we were all three together. We was representing the football team.
I love it. I love it.
That's the only non-blasphemous thing you said, the St. Louis Slam. Everything else, no ma'am.
That's not true.
It is. But respect.
Real quick, why Georgetown?
So my father was a big Georgetown fan. And the reason he became a Georgetown fan because of John Thompson Jr., may he rest in peace. And because John Thompson, being a black coach and a white coach dominated conference, and the fact that who his recruits were and getting into this prestigious school to play, he just respected John Thompson and always fought him. So just like how I am with a little bit of football and definitely baseball because of my father. So he watched it so much and had me watching it. And to this day, I've always been a Georgetown fan. Now, St. Louis native Kobe Clark, he's a freshman on Georgetown squad this year. So I'm definitely going to watch him now. He's a Vashon High graduate. Shout out to Fred's alma mater. So I'm definitely watching him more now to see him play. But yeah.
Gotcha. Do you know I was in my early 20s before I found out that Georgetown was not an HBCU, because the only thing that I knew about Georgetown was the basketball team.
Well, really?
Yep. I was like, oh, okay, that's an HBCU. I thought Temple was an HBCU until my early 20s.
Because of Cheney and squad.
I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, oh, that is not what Georgetown.
Yeah, the campus is predominantly white, but that
really
yeah, I get it. But you know, I commend Thompson. My daddy was strong about that, and it just spilled over to me, my sister.
Mm-hmm.
We could tell you some of Georgetown's lineup from the 90s before Allen Iverson got there. We were watching it. Like, we were into it just like we were in the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. Like, you roll your eyes earlier. I'm like, how does she say that? That is the GOAT. And she keeps rolling her eyes. Like, I don't understand, but
it's great. I was not a fan. I was not on the Bulls bandwagon in the 90s. I was an Atlanta Hawks fan in the 90s. That was
again, but look, we could be doing stuff at church or somewhere in the streets. When my daddy knew the Chicago Bulls game was coming on cable, we flew home to watch the games. Like, you thought we were in Chicago because we had the channel on WGN, watched it. That's the only time he let us get away with staying up late when it came to sports, specifically basketball, whether it was like a Mizzou game or if it was Georgetown, or even when the Blues had the Wayne Gretzky, we're trying to get into the conference finals. That went to 2 overtime. He let us stay up for sports related. Nothing else but sports. Yeah, y'all can stay up and watch it.
I can see myself in the future having to write several notes to teachers about my child being late to school because they like football.
Look, that would be a very, very great excuse. And I may have to do that with my little one. I'm like, look, if mom was into it, I'm up late, I'll give you a pass. If my daddy wouldn't have done it, I wouldn't thought anything of it. But now I see why, because, man, sometimes games is labeled as so good. And I told you I don't like recorded stuff, so I want to see it live. So, yes, she'll get a note from me. Well, ladies, it was a pleasure. I had fun.
Wait, one second, real quick before we go. Joe, I think there's a comment for you about the Dodgers trade. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, Dodgers traded for a reliever, Corey Knebel with the Brewers. He was hurt the last year or so, I think, but a couple years ago, he was an all-star closer for the Brewers, so could be a good pickup for him.
Okay.
I ain't worried about the Brewers. The Pirates are still going to win the pennant. So. Y'all do what y'all need to do to get y'all little teams together.
And she said little teams. Girl. I thought that's the blasphemous corner for a reason. Oh, look, my brother tuned in early. I didn't know that. Oh, wow. Well, I appreciate the love and all the comments. You guys, like you said, you had a lot rolling in. You all did a wonderful job. Good topics. Good ladies, rock.
Yeah, all day, every day.
Yes, we definitely have to do this again, ladies. Don't forget to make sure everyone that's tuning in for the first time or repeat viewers, please do not forget to subscribe and hit that bell. YouTube, okay? It's a bell. Subscribe. Share with everyone. This is a great night we had with Ladies Night. We still have the platform Sports Talk every Wednesday night Sports Delight. In honor of our famous and most gracious host, DJ Smooth, and his sidekick Stanton. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Baby Joe and Big Joe, Annie in the Blasphemous Corner, DeJanel Purple Rain Freeman. Ladies, any last words before we call it a night?
Okay.
Nah, I'm good.
It was a fun show.
That dang
It was a pleasure, ladies. Until next time.
Yes, until next time, everyone. Subscribe, like, share. If your friends didn't watch it live, tell them they can watch it again later. YouTube is our friend, so is Facebook. Thank you, everyone. Everyone have a wonderful night. As Fred says, we out. We out. We out. We out. We out.